Okay guys, today we're going to talk about the Canon C50, which is my new camera. I used to be filming on the Canon 1DX Mark III, which is a DSLR still photo camera. This is a proper video camera in the cinema lineup for Canon. So I haven't done too much testing with the camera yet, but I have done a ton of research on how to rig this camera in the best way for my use. So in this video I'm going to show you the camera rig that I have ended up going for the Canon C50. I would say that this rig is my perfect camera rig. May not be for you, but for me it's super nice. So let's just go straight into rigging the camera. First of all, I have added a small rig cage to the camera, which I highly recommend doing. Even though you're going to add stuff to it or not, it's nice to protect the camera, and it also gives you a lot of more opportunities to add different gadgets to it. Also, another huge feature for me with the cage is that at the bottom of the cage you get the Arca Swiss system, so you don't need to add like a plate to be able to put it on a tripod, as long as you have the Arca Swiss system on your tripod, of course. So that's the camera with the cage. Also we need to add a battery. Now this camera runs on the new Canon LPE6P batteries. And I would say that if you are filming with this camera, you can go for about 1 hour on these batteries, which is pretty decent. Oh, I already have a battery in the camera, so let's not add another one. It's actually not even possible. The camera runs on CF Express memory cards, but you also have another slot here for SD cards, which is nice to have if you need a backup or if you want to do like separate recording for sound and whatever. So let's add a lens to the camera. I'm going to add the 15-35 2.8 lens, which I have right here, which is an amazing lens. Let's put that on. Right, so let's add ND filters to the lens, and for this setup I have went with the Nisi filters, which I really like. So I have bought the 1 to 5 stops ND filter from Nisi, which is an amazing filter. This is the Swift system, so when I add this ND filter I can easily attach more filters on top of this. So for example, I also love that it has the lens cap, or like the filter cap to the filter, which is amazing. So for example, I can pull out a mist filter and I can attach that straight onto the ND filter on top here, which is pretty nice. So you can stack a lot of filters in that way. All right, setup is getting better and better. Let's jump into the sound, but first of all we're going to add the amazing top handle that comes with the camera when you buy it. This top handle is one of the main reasons I bought the camera in the first place. You have 2 full XLR ports on top, which is amazing, and you also have a record button on top here. Super easy to install. You just put it into the hot shoe mount on the C50, put these knobs down and tighten it. Super nice. Okay, pretty cool looking camera, I would say. So now let's add some sound to it. First of all, I'm going to add a shotgun microphone to the camera, and for the shotgun mount I have ended up going for the Rycote mount. This Rycote mount is made for the shotgun mic that I'm going to talk about in a second, and it's the perfect mount for me. This cage gives you a cold shoe mount on the side here, so you don't need to waste the hot shoe mount on the top handle. I'm going to use that for the monitor later. So let's add the Rycote mount into the cold shoe mount on the cage right here. And with this Rycote thing you can loosen it and you can tilt it up and down if you want to do that, whatever you prefer. And I ended up going for the Sennheiser MKH416. It's built like a tank, but the main reason I bought it is the sound quality. The sound quality on this thing is amazing. So I have tested this mic a little bit and I'm super impressed, and I would highly recommend buying this one. But it is a bit expensive, but I would say that it's 100% worth the money. So this slides straight into my Rycote mount up here. And to connect this to the camera, we need a XLR cable. And I have chosen to buy my XLR cables from a company called Blue, which is a company from the States. They make amazing cables in general, especially these XLR cables. What I love about the Blue XLR cables is that it's fabric, it's not like rubber, so it's kind of a little bit more robust. And you have the right angle on the cable, which makes the setup a little bit more compact. So let's plug that onto the shotgun mic. And on the Rycote mount, they have added a little bit of cable management tools on the sides. So I'll slide that in right there. And this shotgun mic is going to go on input 1. You have 2 inputs here, but I'm going to do input 1 for the shotgun mic. There we go. So I just want to add a quick note when it comes to the shotgun mount and the top handle. If this is all the sound you're going to add to the top handle, if you're not going to use the other input, what you can do is you can use input 1 and input 2 on the same shotgun microphone. What I mean by that is that you can have 2 separate sound levels on one microphone. So for example, if you dial in the volume on the top handle here to like a normal volume, if for example someone claps or laughs super loudly, you get these annoying peaks. So you can have a lower volume on input 2, which kind of gives you like a safety track for the shotgun microphone, which is amazing. I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to use the second input for the Rode Wireless Pro microphone. But let's keep going. Next, we're going to add a V-mount to the camera. This next step will make the camera a lot more heavier. So adding the V-mount to this camera will make it a lot more heavy and a little bit more big, I would say. So it's definitely pros and cons for doing this next step. But I choose to do this especially if I'm going handheld, because if the camera is a little bit more heavy, you're able to get smoother shots. This camera, as you may know, does not have IBIS. Most of these RF lenses that I use have image stabilization, so that helps a little bit. But adding V-mount battery here and a little bit more stuff will definitely get it more weight, and it will be easier to get the stable shots. So we're going to do that. So first of all, we're going to flip the screen on the camera out like that. And I have chosen to go for the small rig here as well, because they have a really nice V-mount system for this camera. I have 15mm rods here, and this is really easy to mount. You pretty much just slide it in and tighten it like that. Now we add the V-mount battery to the end here. I have went for the small rig V-mount batteries as well. I know that the Hawkwood batteries are supposed to be a little bit more robust and last longer, but the small rig batteries have USB-C ports on top. The Hawkwood batteries does not have that. They only have D-tap. So this battery is a little bit more flexible for my type of rigging. So let's add that to the back and put it in there. This setup also gives you like a place to put your screen here, so it's easy to put the screen right in there. So it's kind of safe right there, which is nice. You can also turn the screen around if you want to see what the camera is seeing or whatever. And then let's connect the V-mount battery to the camera. I am going to do that via a USB-C. So I add the USB-C cable on the V-mount battery and I put that straight into the camera. Like that. So now we have power to the camera, and let's add a monitor. Now for this setup I am going to use the Small HD Ultra 5 monitor, which I think is a good size for this type of rig. The 7-inch monitor would be a little bit too big for my liking, but this size is pretty nice. Now this monitor is super robust. It's not the lightest, and there's definitely pros and cons with this monitor, but for image quality and what it can handle regarding rain and wind and all that stuff, this monitor is amazing. So this monitor I'm going to pull into the hot shoe mount on the top handle, like that, pretty easy. And to get power to this monitor, I am going to use the D-tap on the V-mount battery. And then we plug that straight into the monitor. Like that. So now the monitor also has power from the V-mount battery. Now, the cables is a little bit all over the place at the moment. It's super easy to pull the cables through areas and make it a little bit more tidy, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of the length of the video. Also we need HDMI, so we connect that to the camera. The C50 has full HDMI, which is amazing. So let's put that in, and that goes straight into the monitor, like that. Now, what I'm also going to add, not in the video, the reason is because I'm using the Rode wireless system right now on the camera that I'm filming on. But I do have a cold shoe mount here that I can slide the Rode Wireless Pro system into and plug that into the 3.5mm right there. And I also have added a cold shoe mount under the top panel here. So I'm able to add a Rode wireless system into there as well and put that into the input too. And for that you need a XLR to mini jack cable like this. Now one important note is that when you're using the 3.5mm mini jack input on the camera, you're of course able to get 2 transmitters to the Rode wireless system. But when you're using one of the XLR ports, you will be able to use both of the transmitters, but only in mono and not in stereo. So I'm not gonna install that right now because the wireless system is on that camera. But this is pretty much the setup. I also have a little thing right here which you can attach on the side to clamp the HDMI cable to the camera, which makes it a little bit more robust so it doesn't like go out of the camera. This setup is not crazy heavy. I would say that you could go handheld like this for a few hours without being a huge problem. What you can also do is you can take the rods off like this. Oops. And you can just attach that straight on a tripod or a gimbal or whatever. So yeah, this is the setup. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will try to answer it. Thank you so much for watching, and again, let me know if you have any questions.